right, we made it to segment 9 of this series. And in this part of the series, I want to talk to something that we don't realize has an impact often on our life group experience. And that is the nature of how we communicate with our life group. So much of our life group exists outside of our normal meeting. I talked about that a couple of videos ago. And how we communicate with our life group makes a big deal. It's a big difference. And I want you to know how to think about this so that you can use communication to your advantage, so that it helps your life group and doesn't hurt your life group. So there's a few things I want to talk about. One, I want to talk about the means in which we communicate, like the methods that we use to communicate, what we communicate on those methods, and my advice for best practice. All right. So generally speaking, in this time that we're in, we're going to have some kind of mass communication device. We're using Facebook Messenger or group text, using a GroupMe or Slack or something like that, that is allowing for a group dialogue so that everybody can be in the know. Now, there's advantages to using these methods. There's also disadvantages. And I'm going to share with you some of my experiences. I have found that if I use these group messages to seek buy-in, it flops badly. When I say things like, hey, who is interested in this? Or will anybody want to do this? Then it goes badly. Or is anybody available to do this? It goes badly. Because what ends up happening is one person says no, and that gives everybody else permission to say no. Or nobody wants to say no, so nobody says anything in those messages. And it gets awkward. And so using those as a buy-in feature isn't really beneficial. What they are beneficial for is checking in on people, or celebrating people, or communicating like decided details. Hey, this is when this is happening. For those of you who are interested, this is the details that you need. Or here's the link to this if you want to follow up and learn more about getting involved in that. Hey, I heard that so-and-so passed their certification and they're going to get their promotion. Praise God, and so everybody can chime in. Oh, congratulations. Those are good things to use group messages for. We don't want to communicate things that are negative on those. Generally speaking, we want to try to keep our group messaging for things that are positive and that create dialogue and excitement, not for things that people are going to avoid. So I would say, if you're going to use a group messaging, and you probably will to some degree, be intentional with who is on that and how you're communicating it. And also be mindful that sometimes it's not going to serve you well. What I would recommend, this is my advice, my experience, is to lean into direct conversation as much as possible. Yes, it's going to take you a little bit longer to send 9 direct text messages than it is going to take 1. But here's the truth about it. Hear me out. You have the time to do this. You would think you might not have the time, or you don't want to spend the time. You have the time, and it will be worth it. If you send 9 direct text messages, you're probably going to get twice the response, 3 times the response than if you do a group message. And it will probably be positive. If you write a message that says, hey, Philip, I was thinking about this project today and I thought of you. I was wondering if you could help me with it. That you're more likely to get Philip to participate in something than if you say, hey, does anybody want to help me with this project? Okay? So it's going to be worth it. If you're communicating details about your life group, especially if you're starting out a life group for the first time, text them individually. Hey, just want to let you remind you, the group that we're starting is happening tonight, Tuesday at 6:30. Be there. Looking forward to seeing you. Send that message as personally as possible and as specifically as possible, and you're going to get a much better return than if you just put it in the group text. And here's really the honest observation I make. Often we do these things to make it convenient for ourselves instead of making it beneficial for the people that we're ministering to. Your job as the leader is to benefit your group, not yourself. I know that's hard to hear sometimes, and I know it's hard being a leader, and there's a lot of things to juggle, but the reality is, just accept the fact that being a life group leader means you have to do a little bit extra communication. That's part of the game, but it's worth it. It's going to pay off for you. And so I want to encourage you to not rely on shortcuts like group messages, but instead be direct and be thorough in your communication. Communicate the why, not just the what. This is why we're doing this. This is going to be a great opportunity for X, Y, or Z. Or, hey, I really believe this is going to serve you well. If you include the why and then add the details at the end, that personal message is going to be so impactful to people. And you know what? They're going to want to get that message. So try these tactics, try these techniques. I think you're going to find them to be beneficial. Even if they're a little bit more work, they're going to be worth it, I promise you.